Hey there! Thank you for joining me. In a previous episode, we were able to unlock the market stalls, and they really help us with trading and selling our goods, because I don't have to travel from village to village anymore. In this episode, we will be unlocking the final buildings, namely the Windmill and the Tavern. I will also keep an eye out for the Herald, because it's always so enjoyable to speak to him and do quests for the king. On top of that, I will show how I decorate inside the houses, but also the other form of decorating, where you can actually place items individually on tables, shelves, things like that. I'm not really great at that, and I need a lot more practice, but I did want to kind of show that off. Either way, let's get into it. Alright, so I put the market stalls here. I think it looks really nice. And as part of the beautification process of our village, I think the time has come to install some lights, because yeah, it's kind of getting dark here, especially around this place. So let me unlock that one. We're going to go for the lantern, and that costs 2,000 to unlock. Let's see how that works. I hope I can put it... Ah, okay, perfect. I was hoping I could put it kind of diagonally here towards the intersection. Aha. That looks pretty nice. Can we do the same here? Kind of try to line it up, I guess. Okay, I think that looks really nice. Then we'll do one here. Give or take that line here. Let's see how that lines up. It's good enough. It's good enough. We just now unlocked the Apiary. I actually see somebody picking the fruit. I've never seen that before. Embarrassing to say, but I've never seen anybody pick the fruit. Great. She's pretty fast at it too, so I'm glad I assigned her to the job. Anyways, on a serious note, we just now unlocked the Apiary. This is the one, Apiary. I'm not sure how big that building is, because I was thinking we have to go to animals. How big this? Oh, it's okay. It's the size of a normal farm shed, kinda. Because I thought it would be really cool to blend it in the village instead of having it on a separate road outside the village or in the farm fields, or especially with all these orchards. Ooh, chicken. Especially with all these orchards around here. So I'm gonna kind of look, because I have a farm shed here in this backyard, so that all the orchards are within range of a farm shed, otherwise they won't pick the fruit. But I'm thinking that I should be looking around a little bit to see where I can put the beehives in the backyard or something. I think that would be really nice. So this is where I put down the apiary. I didn't have too much choice, because the building is actually a little bit bigger than I thought it was, but I think it looks pretty nice here. Of course, for realistic reasons, I would have preferred a location in the middle here, in the middle of all the orchards, with for pollination purposes. But yeah, this area is going to be filled up with a tavern eventually when we unlock that thing, because that's going to take quite a while. But yeah, it's not too bad here. So I unlocked workshop level 3, and I demolished the level 2 workshop that was here, which is why the lady is waiting for me to finish my job here, so she can actually go back to work. And I noticed that workshop level 3 actually has stone walls. That's the first, well, production building that I've seen that has stone walls. Workshop level 3 is done. Looks really like a nice little building here. Waiting for the ladies to come back to work. See anyone? Oh, there's one. Okay. So in case you're wondering what I put in there, or what I'm telling to do right now, let's have a look. Buckets, some medium wicker baskets, some vials and stuff. I didn't unlock most of the recipes yet, so eventually that will come. I'm just too busy right now reorganizing and beautifying the city, so that's what I focus on, and then I will unlock everything. Alright guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, I just now changed the modifier for the technology gain in this game, because it takes forever to unlock new buildings. We've built all the structures that have been unlocked to us so far. There was nothing else going on. The village / cult is doing fine. There's no problems anywhere. I'm just making a lot of coin. And for the rest, well, if you look around, I'm still beautifying the village. So that is still a work in progress. And I'll keep you guys posted about that. So if you look at the technology tree, especially on the production side, it just takes forever to make progress. So we barely unlocked the workshop 3, which I already built, that beautiful stone building. We have 3,648 points. And yeah, the tavern is 10,000, so I'm a little bit over 1/3 on my way over there. And yeah, it just takes forever because there's really not much else to do in the game. I finished the main quest lines. I can expand on the village. I'm waiting for the kids to grow up and give them an apprenticeship. I figured I would speed up that multiplier because yeah, I can do a quest for my wife, which are usually entertaining, but I think that's once a year.
Be welcome, stranger.
Let's do a quest. We haven't done a quest in forever for villagers. Are you sure? You seem very upset. I got into an argument with my wife and now she doesn't even want to talk to me. Maybe I could talk to her and convince her to forgive you. You would do that for a stranger? Thank you so much. I'll be right back. Family dispute. Okay, so let's see. Yes. Okay. Hi. Hello, fair lady. Hello, what do you want? I want you to go and make up with your husband. Life is short and dangerous in these parts. You shouldn't throw your relationship away for petty squabbles. Maybe you're right. Continue. ... Continue. Tell him that I'll talk with him soon. Alright. Okay. And we unlocked a new building in the meantime. Food storage 3. But that seems like a very quick quest. I don't know. I convinced your wife to talk with you. She wants to reconcile. Thank you so much, stranger. Here, some coins for your trouble. No problem. Wow. That must be the shortest and fastest quest in Medieval Dynasty. It's the end of a season. We have an event. A nobleman was passing through your village. He lost his purse in front of you. What will you do? We've had this one before, and I think if we give it back, the people lose a little bit of morale. So we have option 1, return it to the nobleman. Option 2, let your people have it. And option 3 is take it for yourself. Let's give it to the people. All villagers got 10 mood. Alright guys, I looked a little bit deeper at the market stall in the game because I wasn't really sure how it completely and exactly works. So I discovered a few things which are very interesting. First of all, the market stall will only sell up to a certain amount of coins per day. No matter how much your vendor can sell, it's based on the level of the vendor as to how many coins that market stall will give you. So I believe a vendor level 10 will give you 1,000 or 1,100 coins max. I'm not sure if it's 1,000 or 1,100, but there is a limit. So even if we would set it up in such a way that, and I can show you this. Let's go to the food stall because we have a vendor level 10 there, Amerigo. So I actually, if you see this, the intensity is down to 82%. I think this is pretty close to 1,100 coins. I didn't add it all up exactly. But there's no point for me to work at 100% intensity if the total value of this is going to be, let's say, 1,600 coins a day, because he won't sell it either way. So there's not much point. The other thing is that, especially when it comes to food items, they start selling the item, apparently they start selling the item that has the lowest, let's call it durability, that is in the worst shape. Problem with this is that they will start selling the low level items off, and you don't get as much as for the higher level, the fresh pears and the plums and the cherries. The other thing is that the sale price is literally based on the market value divided by 2. So if you go to your inventory, to give an example, the normal value, if they would sell a copper spear, they don't get 170 coins, they get 85 coins. They get about half. So the thing is that we have a skill point right here. It's called barter. Because of that, we get 30% better selling and buying prices. However, this does not go for the NPCs. This does not go for your town vendors in the market stalls. So that means that, to give an example again, they will literally sell a copper spear for 85 coins. Now, I personally really like crafting wooden bolts. 10 wooden bolts take 10 feather and 10 sticks. The reason why I like this, to craft this myself, is because it goes really, really fast. I think it's like a 1 second or 1.5 seconds crafting time. So if you do it 40 times, you craft, I don't know, it takes about a minute or less than a minute. And you're done. And you have 400 bolts on you. If we look at the bolts, and I actually put them in storage. So at the vendor, they would sell for about 3.5. Now, I can check that because I actually set up a little stall. I put Jaromira in there. She just has a skill 4, which has no effect on the sales price, but it has effect on how much the stall can make per day, remember? So I think this stall can make about 400, 500 coins a day, no matter how much he sells. So, if we look at this, I actually told her to sell wooden bolts. Now, if she sells at this percentage, she sells 112 wooden bolts a day, and it gives us a total of 394 coins. So I can go to 100%, and the thing is, if you multiply this, so the 80% is actually more clear, you will see that she gets about 3.5 per wooden bolt. It's about 3.5, I would say. Now, because of my bartering skill, if I take these wooden bolts to a town, I very likely get, I don't know, maybe 5. I'll show you in a moment. The trade-off is, because you're wondering, well, why don't you just sell everything yourself then? Is because, first of all, you will quickly realize that the vendors in these towns will run out of money real fast. So the moment you show up with your goods, I already had to travel to 4 villages just to do 2 days of production worth. And yeah, you don't want to do that in the game. You don't want to travel to village to sell some wooden bowls and some baskets and some clothing. So it's just extremely time consuming. The other trade-off is that the town vendors, they are not limited by this. So they can sell forever. They don't run into a certain limit as to how many coins they can make, for example, in a season before the pot is empty. They will simply sell based on their skill level per day, as long as you have the goods up, of course. And there's just a max on that number. Alright, let's see what I get for my wooden bowls if I sell them to Agnes.
Never disappoint.
Wooden bowl. There you go. So that is, instead of 3.5, it's actually 5.6. So that is 2.1 coin more than if I sell them at my market stall. So if I have 700 bolts, you're talking about 1,400 coins difference. Alright guys, so I want to put the mill kind of in the middle of the fields. I think that would look really nice, especially when the crops are growing around it. And I think this is the perfect spot here. I'll just demolish this cabbage field. It's idle at this moment in winter either way, so that's perfect timing. And then I'll see how big that mill is. Yeah, this should be okay. It fits nicely. Yeah. And then one new path through. Okay. So that is perfect. So the mill has been completed and we have assigned a farmer to the mill, so it's actually having a really nice animation. So they are milling some flour, which we then can use to start baking some bread in one of our kitchens. So I'm really looking forward to that. I will revisit the mill in the summertime when the crops have grown, because that will look really stunning, I think. So I built the Fisher Hut level 2, and Roland, our level 10 Fish Whisperer, is already on the way. So it's more sturdy than the original one, because the original one is sticks and kind of straw. And this one is definitely more sturdy and allows for a second person to help out with fishing, which at this point is really not necessary. We're not doing anything with fish either way. We're not cooking with it, and we're just selling it, which brings in a lot of coin. But there's really no point to assigning somebody else to this right now. So I did make some changes to the layout. You might remember that I had the donkey shed here, we had some chickens, we had some pigs in the back there. I moved everything from farm animals to the farm fields, so that is all in the same zone. I am planning to build a log wall here. I'm not sure if I'm going to surround the whole village with it. I probably won't. because I'm not a big fan of it. The log wall is not as bad as the palisade. The palisade just, I don't think, looks pretty ugly, to be honest. But if I actually go to the farm fields, I can show you what I was thinking about. So I kind of lined this all up here. So we now have the chicken coop here. We have the sheep, the cows. I moved the pigs over there. You can probably see them from here. So what I was thinking about is pulling that log wall through and line it all up nicely. We have a little bit of a log wall here that I would pull this through straight. Probably move the horse stable to the side because I think that would look prettier. But yeah, that is it's still work in progress, so we'll see what it turns out like. Alright guys, we finally unlocked the tavern. So that took really a long time, but it's the final building that we can unlock. So I'm just dying to put that one down in the center of our village. Let's see if we can put the tavern down here. I hope it fits nicely. Production, tavern. And I'm actually going to rotate this and stand on the road. If the trees let me. Oh, perfect. I want to make sure it's kind of aligned with the road, and it's really difficult to see. Let's see what that looks like. No. That's not going to work for me. Let's do that again. Let's see. That's not too bad. We're going to keep that. We're going to keep that, guys. Almost done with the tavern. There we go. So yes, it looks exactly the same as the one in Costovia. It's fine by me. Let's see what we can do here. So this is probably the wine barrel. Yep. So you can all... Perfect. Because yes, I had completely forgotten about that. The tavern unlocks all the fruit recipes. So now we can make all these apple juices, cherry juice. We can fruit tarts, fruit cakes, fruit pie, whatever. And this is for the beers. This is brilliant. What I'm thinking is it would be really cool to have the hops growing alongside the tavern. I have to figure this out how I'm going to do this. Because that's going to be used for the beer brewing anyways. So we'll just grow it here alongside the tavern a little bit. A little update. I finished the wall and also the main layout. I call it the final layout. I don't think I will be moving any buildings around anymore. Or construct any buildings for that matter. But let's take a ride along the outside of the wall. I put the little road here to make it to make it stand out more. I think it looks really pretty that way. All the houses, at least, are insulated with limestone. The production buildings aren't yet. Some need limestone because they're made of stone, and some need clay or daub if they're made from wooden logs, for example. So that hasn't been done yet. The great thing is that for whatever reason, because of the wall, even though I have gates in there, a lot of villagers, they go around the wall and they actually walk on this path. It's kind of cool that the villagers are walking on the road because it really gives me a more feeling of, you know, an immersive experience. Builds a part of the wall here, and that's really it. So before we dive actually into the village itself, let's go to the farm fields. Where the windmill is in production. It's summer, so it's actually fall right now. The summer is over, but yeah, they have harvested everything. So you can see the fields here. So the cows over there. This is the main layout, so when it comes to decorating, I haven't really done much. Besides placing rocks in the houses. Do want to show you the area with the tavern. And let me get off here of my horse. Because you cannot get rid of the weeds and the grass. You cannot, for example, put a road down because then you cannot build any tables on that. That is something I want to do. I want to place a whole bunch of tables here, decorations, flowers, and you know, make it really look like an active bursting area here. And over here next to the tavern, I built some hops. I thought that would be kind of fitting, so they can make the beer from the hops. This is a poppy field. It's just for decorative purposes. I like the poppies, so I think that would look really nice. So the market stalls didn't move. They move over here. I'm gonna very likely either put roads down or some sort of maybe benches so people can sit here. I don't know yet. Well, let's do another quest for the Herald. I saw that he was in Jazerica, so I took the taxi service. Took a cab. Let's see what he wants. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a whole bunch of coin. What does the king want? The king will be hosting a big wedding ceremony for his successor. He asks all of his subjects to deliver food for this prestigious event. Okay, I'll make sure to deliver the finest pies. Wonderful. Okay, so we have to make some pies. Woohoo! Multigrain bread, fruit pie, and meat tarts. Okay. That is more challenging than I thought it was going to be, but we'll do our best. So I did unlock the recipes for the meat tart, the fruit pie, and I already had the other one unlocked, the multigrain bread. So let's have a look here, because it's quite some resources that we're going to need for this. We need to basically bake 10 multigrain bread, 5 meat tarts, and 15 fruit pies. So if you look at the meat tarts, we need 5 of those. So I'm going to get those resources here and see what we have in stock. Alright guys, I know it's dark, but that's perfect for what I plan to do. I did unlock, let me see if I can show it to you, the hanging lantern. So I want to install some of those. Let's start with slot 1. Okay, so we can kind of see where that is. Let's see, slot 3 is over there. Slot 4, that's in the middle. I think that's perfect. So that's nice. Okay. We kind of go from the left side of the room to the right side of the room with the slots. So that really helps. So I'll just hang lanterns in the houses. Give them some light. There we go. When it comes to decorating, we have seen that you can decorate inside the houses using your hammer as a tool, and then, for example, the walls and the floors and the ceilings to have specific number of slots where you can hang stuff on or place stuff down like rocks and lanterns like I've done before. But there's also a whole other side of decorating that is actually where you place items on shelves and tables. So in order to, for example, put a plate or a cup on this table, let me show you how we do that. Go to the inventory. For example, I also picked up some potage, so you drop it first. You cannot drop a stack, so it has to be one item. So I draw 1 potage. And then you have the option to take it or grab it. If you hold E, you grab the item. And then you can kind of move it around, which is great. And then you have to keep the E pressed down. The moment you let go of the E, it will drop the item. So in this case it's fine, because we put that potage on the table. I assume that it will deteriorate. I'm not sure if it turns into rot. I will keep an eye on that. I've actually never looked at that. I honestly haven't done much with decorating, so it requires a lot of practice for certain items. Like, I'm not sure if I can show you this. Let's see what we have on us. Let's take the wine bottle. Let's drop that one. Oh, it actually drops straight. That's funny. Because normally it drops on a side and then you have to flip it around. So let me drop it again. Maybe it will flip and I can... No. Okay. No such luck. There we go. Okay, now we pick it up. So now, well, you can kind of put it on the table, but, well, you want to kind of have it up straight. So while the E is pressed down, use your left mouse button and then start moving the mouse around. You have to move your mouse almost over the whole table in order to get it slightly straight here. So, and then, let's see if this works. No. The main reason is that I really suck at this, to be honest. Okay. Well, it isn't perfect. Let's grab the pottage. See, okay. Let's go. And let's tilt this a little bit. People that have done this, they're probably laughing their butt off. But yeah, this is... I don't know. It just keeps on spinning all directions. Well, I think that's the best I can do right now. Alright, so that's the other side of decorating. You can also do this with shelves inside the houses. Also the hanging racks. For example, here. As long as you have an item that can hang there. I think like certain weapons, a sight, a rope. Clothing is folded, if I remember correctly. If you drop a piece of clothing, it's folded, so you can put it on the table, but you cannot really hang it up, I don't think. But yeah, so that's the other side of decorating, and as you can imagine, if I want to do this for the whole village, my whole city, yeah, that's, especially with my skill level, that's gonna take weeks. Alright guys, so I'm working on the quest for the Herald. So I have the 10 multigrain bread, I have the 5 meat tarts, I have 9 fruit pies on me, but it's really important that you uncheck the boxes, because as you can see, otherwise the villagers might very well start eating them while you're prepping for the quest. I did notice, and I find this very funny, is that a bucket of sour milk is really high on the totem pole for food. This is not drinking, this is food. Because every bucket has 10 charges, so I don't know, 10 charges of milk. In this case, sour milk, 28 of these buckets give a total value of almost 1900 food value. That is more than my whole village eats in a day. I'm surprised that they give food value at all. Soured milk, because I'm not sure who goes out and says, hey, I would actually prefer to drink a bucket of sour milk instead of eating a meat tart, but that's the priority in the game. So I thought that was kind of hilarious, to be honest. Took a little bit, but we do have the items for the Heralds, so let's see what's going to happen. If we get any kind of mood change or whatever, it should be normally showing in the left upper corner, I think. Is that all of the food? Yes, the finest food in the valley. So we get a 500 Dynasty rep. Alright guys, I think we have arrived at the end of the series for now. We have unlocked all the buildings, we did all the major quests. The town has its final layout. I will spend some time putting a lot more decorations in, but yeah, that's going to take me a couple of, I would say, weeks. I will very likely do a follow-up episode, or maybe a short, just to show like a little tour through the village or city when I'm done with all the stuff, and to show what it looks like then. Before I end it, I do want to mention a few things, because you very likely are wondering, in the management screen, you can, for example, assign apprentices. This here. In order for an apprentice to qualify, the kids need to be 14 years old. And if you look at my kids right now, the ones that I have, they're 7 years old. So it's going to take me 7 years before I can assign an apprentice. But the thing is that while they're learning, they do not contribute to the production at all. It's just a way for the youngsters to learn the trade. The other thing is the heir. Jan is 6, I think. So at the age of 18, he would qualify to be, well, the legitimate heir, because right now, I'm not sure what happens if I would die. I think Jan is too young for me to take over. In one of the recent patches, the moment Jan turns 18, I would actually be able to talk to him, and I would be able to make him the new leader, so to speak. So I don't have to wait for me to die before my dynasty continues. We would just have to talk to Jan when he turns 18, and he would take it from there. That is my understanding from reading the recent patch notes. I've honestly never gotten that far in the game, because if you look at right now, I played with the default settings, 3-day seasons, and yeah, but when it comes to the end game, I think I covered all the basics. Yeah, we're just waiting for a new patch, a new expansion. I will be thrilled to continue the series. Whoever watched the series, I really thank you for all your patience and for putting up with me. I hope it was enjoyable and that you maybe learned 1 or 2 things. And if there's anything I can learn, please leave me a comment. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.